What's good, y'all? This is the real A-Town. Early in the morning here again for me, but I'm probably gonna take a nap later. And if I don't, then I'll be up all day. So, this here is a DB replay for hat format, and this was a match I was not expecting. I win the dice roll here, and I am playing against Noble Knights. So, for anyone that knows, Noble Knights has been the butt of the joke for legitimately any format since their release. They were really bad on release. I think they were a TCG exclusive if I remember correctly. And then as they got support, I mean, undoubtedly they got better, but like it was never a deck that you were really afraid of, but it could be scary if it had like a really good setup. And you'll see here that my opponent very well did have that. So I start with a simple Atlantean play, Teus into Pike into a Marksman. Now you might be wondering why I didn't add Gen X Undyne. This is a very Xyz focused and aggressive version of the deck. There is no, what's it called? Synchros, there is no Gen X Undyne, there is no tuners, there's no Allure Darkness. This is a Xyz build that I got from the format library, and if I check on the name, I don't remember exactly who it is. I'm pretty sure it was Ikaros. Let's see. I'll probably post it here like afterwards just to showcase it, even though it's not my list, but it was a really fun looking list that I saw from the Exiton Elimination tournament that took place probably like a month or so ago. No, it was earlier this month. So yeah, it was from Ikaros. It was honestly really fun deck. I'm still curious to see how this deck plays into the mirror. So we'll see, sooner or later, hopefully, because I'll bring it to tournament actually in locals, and we'll see how it runs. So here, I set the sphere and pass. Now he goes MST, and like I personally am someone that doesn't like, why would you blind set, right? But I guess it's against, Mermail, so you don't lose that much of an excuse, right? But yeah, I just go for the Turge, discard Marksman to add the heavy infantry. I do have salvage, so no matter what, I'll be able to add these two back, right, if I need be. And he starts with Midraut. I think that's the best start that you could have with this deck, because you really want to be able to like get him, to get the boards, to get the 3 equips, and then your Xyzs are very live from here. So this one, Caliburn, gives the equipped monster 500 attack, and then once per turn you can gain 500. It's assault once per turn, so if you equip it multiple times, you get multiple life points, right? And then all the Noble Knight cards say if this card is destroyed, you can choose another Noble Knight to equip it to, and that effect is once per turn. So I'll try to go over these as well as possible. So Midraut, all the Noble Knights for the most part, except for a very few amount, become level 5 darks whenever they are equipped with a Noble Knight equip spell. And this one summons one from the deck if you have an equip on, and he summoned boards, and then it destroys the equip spell. From here, he equips it to boards, and boards, same thing, level 5 dark, except this one reveals 3, adds 1, and sends the rest to the graveyard. And the beauty for Noble Knights is that you don't care that the equip spells are going to the graveyard, because you're going to be able to utilize the equip cards from the Xyz summon, right? So here he makes the rank 5, the rank 5s, or all the Noble Knights Xyz, I believe, equip 3 once they're summoned. So he equips the Excalibur, which it prevents targeting. This is the only one that doesn't equip itself back if it's destroyed, so it's like the best target overall, so that you can 1-on-1 and stuff like that. But if there is a Noble Knight Xyz monster, you can just banish it from the grave and overlay over for a new Noble Knight. And then this one protects from destruction once. This one lets them gain 1000 attack, and they lose 200 attack during each of their standby phase. So, yep. He has a really good turn 1 setup. Removes the level 4s because, like, you know, that's the best thing to hit. And I draw into a pike. So you'll see me misplay a little bit here. You know, happens. I'll show. So I go for pike, discard the heavy infantry, grab gun, pike, pop the non-targeting one, right? And then they go ahead, summon Teist, discard gun, summon back the pike. Now, what I should have done is I should have salvaged, grabbed the marksman and the heavy infantry. That way, instead, I could have just summoned Turge, discard marksman, add gun back, and then pop the, you know, back row. But luckily, it was just a land. So I make a Dracosack first. I go and pop the set. He lances the pike, doesn't matter, and then I go for 101. And you don't want this card to, you don't want any of the XCs really to go from field to grave, because they have this effect where if it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target a level 4 or lower or higher Noble Knight monster in your grave and special summon that target. So they get recursion, and then what ends up happening is, because, and I learned this actually mid-match, because equip spells get destroyed once their legal target leaves, anything they summon, they would be able to equip to it. So yeah, not very fun. So I just go ahead and swing for 21, and then he upstarts into a soul charge. Actually, the best top deck that you could have ever gotten. So, you know, he summons a Driston, equips to pop my 101. That is a mandatory effect upon equipment, so technically a quick effect. And then, yeah, he goes for, I think, does he go for double XCs? I don't know. Oh, no, he goes for Paladynamo for my Dracosack. Yeah. So, yeah, he ends up equipping these 3, I believe, to the, you know, Artorgus, and then this one to the Boar so that he can get more fodder in the graveyard. He Paladynamos my Dracosack. And then I ask a stupid question here, but like I'll go over that here in a moment. So here I salvage because I mean I top deck the pike, like it's actually crazy. And you know, I go pike, discard gun, add marks or heavy infantry. No, it was marksman. And then I go for the Turge, grab, back the Gundeed by discarding heavy infantry, and then I go ahead and, you know, attempt to pop the boars, and then that equips to the Noble Knight. You know, I just want to get rid of cards if possible. Although I probably should have removed Star Leech Paladynamo. Now, the reason I'm thinking of doing that is because I'm thinking in my head, this is a continuous effects, right? So if it's no longer on the field, I don't think Dracosack is affected, but I think this actually puts a set condition on the card. The best way I can explain it is like Soul of Silver Mountain, rank 3. By detaching 1, you can, like, you know, target the set card that your opponent controls, and like they can't activate it. But if it gets breakthrough'd, right, then I can do so. However, cards like Giant Hand work different. If Giant Hand gets negated later by the breakthrough skill, the monster that it had negated still has its effects negated and can't change its battle position. There's separate rulings for that, and I don't know why they work like that, but they do. So yeah, Paladynamo I don't think works like Giant Hand. Rather, I think works like Giant Hand. So I don't think if I remove it from the field, it gets gone. So yeah, this Exceeds build does have 2 101s, so he just got really unlucky, and I was able to just, you know, blast through and hit him for another 2100 points of damage. So you know, for now, this Dracosack is going to stay on field, and then the set breakthrough pass. Now he goes for the Gwen. I think that's Gawain. And when he tries to equip, I go for the breakthrough skill. Maybe that was not correct. Yeah, that's probably not correct. Because he was probably just going to overlay anyways. So I should have just breakthrough, but I think they would be able to equip anyways. So I guess in a way it wasn't like too bad. It seems fine. Now he doesn't equip the Excalibur. He equips Destiny, Gallatin, and Caliburn. And, you know, he's gaining some life points back. He goes, equips the Gwen, and then the attaches to pop the 101, you know, just to get rid of the material, of course. And then yeah, I draw into an Aqua Spirit, so I basically gotta wait until I have the ability to you know, get rid of this card. And because he doesn't have Excalibur, I can easily just you know, what's it called, make a rank 7. But I need to draw into a Megalo, right? So this deck plays 2, so I'm just hoping I either draw a Megalo or a Teus so I can maintain advantage. And then he equips, I'm not even going to pronounce that, but the black one. This one, you lose 500 to destroy the set target that you target once per turn, which is good. You know, if anything, if I can at least try to run it over, this is good. Although not likely. He has Destiny, which prevents destruction once, and then he also has Gwen, which can be used as a substitution upon destruction, and it's kind of beneficial because you can always re-equip her from the grave anyway. So yeah. So I'm gonna explain how this card works as well. This card says you can target one set card your opponent controls. The equipped monster loses exactly 500 attack, and if it does, destroy that target. So even if you activate Breakthrough, it's still going to try to resolve as much as possible. So, you know, B is required, or A is required for B to happen, but B is not required for the other, right? So the monster will lose 500 attack even if I activate this Breakthrough skill. Now he goes, summons the Gawain, and then hits me for 29, and I'm in danger, right? So if I didn't draw this Megalo right here, it was game over. And I do draw it, so I discard Dragon Ice and the Gundy, go for the Teus. Now you may be wondering, why did you not like summon Dragon Ice ever? I didn't feel like I was in danger, right? Like if he had summoned one more monster, I would have. But yeah, Dragon Ice has implications with the, or not implications, but viability in the graveyard. So, you know, no matter what, I'm gonna be able to trigger it at any time here. And yeah, that was a pretty long game 1. I'm pretty sure our match took like an hour. Yeah, I was just trying not to misplay. So yeah, now he starts with an upstart here in this second game, and he starts with Medraut and Equip, which honestly is really good for him. Normally they don't get this like every turn. So, and Rhoda is at 1. So it's not like, you know, Teller Knight format, or not Teller Knight, but Duelist Alliance format, there was like 2 or 3 Rhodas. Yeah, no, it's still at 1. So I'm going to take advantage and max C here. You know, the deck main decks it. So I was like, I think this is going to be fine because he had multiple ways of like, you know, coming back into the game. So I'd like to keep the max C. And I got 2 draws off of it. Honestly, pretty good. Get a Dragon Ice. And so here's my thought process. He has the Excalibur, but I have no current way to remove it so that I can just simply 101. And so my plan is I'm going to have to make a Draco Sack and a 101. So that's what the sphere is essentially for. Just so that I can set up potentially 2 level 4s, 2 level 7s, and then, you know, that, because I have a Lind in hand, right? So I can always crash and do that later. Now he goes, attacks, I go for the sphere, and then of course, you know, Lind's going to special summon a lead here. And now you may be wondering, why didn't he go for like another Noble Knight? I mean, it's gonna get like maximum, if at all, 1 equip spell, but there's currently none in graveyard, and because of that, this deck doesn't really, you know, have the best time, you know, trying to like maneuver multiple XCs. You know, it's essentially protect the towers, right? This is a cooler version of like a Bujin control, right? You know, where Bujin is more stun oriented because it gets to play a bunch of traps. This is more aggro, like aggro control, protect the tower, set up a big beefy monster, ensure that it doesn't get, you know, no one can like affect it, stuff like that. So and then of course you got mad protection with cards like these. So yeah, now that I draw, you know, for my turn, I'm going to get aggressive here. I discard the Lin, grab the Gundy, and then I go normal summon Pike, discard Gund to grab the Marksman to summon back the Lin, and he DD Crows that, which, you know, kind of screws me over what I wanted to do was, crash the Lind into the Ortorgus, summon, what's his name? Turge, discard Dragon Ice, grab back Gundy, right, as a follow-up play with my Megalo. Unfortunately, though, it didn't work out like that. So, and then also he has a Veiler in hand and chooses not to Veiler anything here. So yeah, I go for the lead to rip a card in hand. He still doesn't Veiler that. Funny enough, I hit the Veiler. And then, you really shouldn't be doing this. The deck does play Honest from what I remember. So, swinging into this is like a bad idea. But I did it anyways just to like get some chip in, get that good chip. And then, yeah, I just go Dracosac to pop the Excalibur and, pray that next turn I get to do what I want. Now, he summons the brothers. I maxi, I got to draw for the Dristin. Still don't use Dragonite, still don't need to. And I'm glad I didn't because holding the Marksman is going to at least try to bait the Breakthrough skill out. If it's something important like a Lance or anything like that, gets removed anyways. If not, I just have a very solid chance to win. So, I start with Megalo, discard Dragonice, and the Marksman. Chainlink 1, Marksman, Chainlink 2, Megalo. He breakthroughs. I'm like, that's fine. I go Salvage, grab back these two, and then I go Normal Summon Pike, discard Gundy, grab Marksman. Now that the Excalibur is not there, I can easily go for a rank 4 play. First, I lead though, discard Soul Charge, and then actually, instead of a rank 4 play, I will go for a rank 7 play. The big eye. So I out those two monsters. Now, even though I ripped the Soul Charge, clearly it didn't matter. He ripped it again. So, dude, he had the DB algorithm works in this deck's favor so well because I promise you, in real life matches, and I've only faced this deck like twice IRL. They brick and they're not very good. They're not very effective at really holding down the fort or setting it up in the first place. So yeah, I big eye Artorigas, but like it doesn't matter. He gets to make his rank 4 version, blow up the entire back row, and then make the other Artorigas pop his. Now he gets to Reborn, Guanafane, equip to pop my big eye, and yeah, so I have Soul Charge, so I thought I was going to be good no matter what. This is where I misplay, but unknowingly, because I didn't know the rules of the game mechanics for this specific interaction, and you'll see. So I Soul Charge for 5. I'm greedy like that, and the reason I'm doing it is so that I can have like a rank 3 on top of everything. So I go Pike, discard Heavy Infantry, grab a Lind, and then I try to pop the Dristin so that the Gwen can like leave, and then I make a 101. So as you can see now, I have like one zone open. I didn't know Dristin was a quick effect. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. Dristin could like do it on my turn. I thought it was only on his turn, but it's anytime it's equipped, so it's a mandatory trigger once it gets a spell equipped to it. Once per turn, luckily. And so this is where I misplay. So I take the rank 5 monster, because of course I don't want this to go to grave. And then I'm planning to set up a Gaios and a Mequipped. And I think that would settle me the game because he has no cards to his name. Turns out, when equipped spells go to the graveyard, when they lose their like target, right, that they were equipped to, they actually get destroyed by game mechanics. So you'll see this interaction here, and then I'm like, oh wait, actually no, you're right, it does equip. So what I should have done first is make Mequipped Engineer, and that way when these cards get equipped to the Dristin, and he triggers his effect, I can just Mequipped, protect my Megalo or anything that he wanted to target, and then from there, make a Gaios, and then like I said, I think that secures me the game because he top decks into a Caliburn that did nothing. So for future reference, if you ever play against Noble Knights, make sure you take this precaution if possible, because I didn't know this. I read the actual game book Version 10 is the recent one, and that one said, yeah, when the target leaves or is booked or anything, the equip spells get destroyed by our game mechanics, which is ridiculous. It should just go to graveyard. There's no destruction happening, but whatever. I guess it's like continuous, and that's the reason why. Whatever. So, because of this, he gets to Dristan, and I decide to protect itself, but the engineer, because like I'm like, well, he could break through, right? But realistically, I did want to protect the lead, and I was like banking, you know, I was like, if anything, if he does negate the engineer, I guess he should have done it really, because I would have lost 2 cards. I would have lost engineer, and then he would have popped the lead anyway. So I don't know why he didn't do it, but that was like that's probably the only misplay I see from him. Not gonna lie. Other than that, he did play this really well. Now, Dristan was special summoned, luckily, and I drew an Aqua Spirit. So I summoned the Lind, I crash, I take 11 here, and then Lind effect, summon Turge, discard, grab Gund, and then Gaios was never made, of course, so that has to go back. And then I overlay into the last 101 in my deck. He has nothing to equip to, nothing to his name, and I'm just praying that he doesn't draw into a soul charge, and he does not. He draws into an equipped spell, which it's going to happen. It is a Noble Knight deck. He could have drawn any monster and it also wouldn't have mattered. What he needed was soul charge to get back into the game, and if he had drawn another soul charge, I do not know that I would have had any other way to fight through another Xyz monster. But that goes to show you that if the deck can get the ball rolling, Noble Knights is actually pretty competent. So yeah, I end up winning this match. He shows me on my deck list because I'm gonna see if I can actually try it out in locals every now and then. Although if I were him, I don't know that I would play like breakthroughs and like warnings and actual traps. I'll probably just keep a heavy lineup of like hand traps. Like Valor is normally not good, right? But like Valor is good in this deck because it like, you know, does so well in a deck where you can't really set your back row, right? And also Noble Knights have a access to a card that's basically a heavy storm by returning an equipped spell. So it has a pretty decent hat matchup if it can get like, you know, things rolling as well. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to try this out soon, and yeah, the match took well over an hour. Yeah, there was a lot of thinking there, a lot of contemplating. I didn't really want to misplay. I did misplay twice, once in game 1, I believe, and once in game 2, where I should have made the equipped, but you know, those things just tend to happen, right? So can't really hate. We learned from our mistakes, and a valuable lesson for 100%. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Peace. Have a great day. Stay safe.